Welcome to episode 2 of our tutorial series on developing with Overledger integrations. In this episode, we'll demonstrate how to monitor account activity, transaction fees, and schedule periodic price analyses using the Zapier integration.
Hi, today we'll be demonstrating how to create a Zap using Zapier and Quantum Network's integration to Zapier. First thing you will need is an account on Overledger. So you can create an account by connecting to connect.quant.network. Once you've logged in, go to the My Applications page and create a new application. You can do that by just pressing the plus symbol, giving it a name of an application, enabling testnet signing. If you're using testnet, pick a network you want to operate with. You'll then be given the client ID and secret. This information should actually be kept secret. This is just for testing purposes. And then you can just go back to My Applications. You can also view your secrets by selecting the See More Details option. Okay, so if we go into My Zaps, you can create a new Zap using the Create Zap orange button on the left or the blue plus Create button on the right. The first thing you need to do is create a trigger. So what we're going to do today is show our event-based triggering. So what we're going to do is set up a Zap which gets triggered when a new transaction occurs involving a specific address that we've got. So let's go click on Trigger. You can find the Overledger triggers in Zapier by searching for Overledger. You then pick from the list. So the first one, new account event, triggers an event whenever a transaction is discovered, which includes a specific address. The new contract event will monitor for smart contract events. That will be covered in a separate video. So let's pick new account event. Press continue. Then we need to choose our Overledger account. So we click on choose. I have previously added my accounts, but you're going to create a new one using the Connect a New Account. You will receive a pop-up asking you to input your client ID and secret. Remember, you got those in Overledger. You can click on the I symbol and you'll receive your client ID and secret. But I don't need to add a new one at the moment. So I will choose an existing account. Press continue. You then need to configure the trigger. So we are going to use a sandbox environment. We're using the Ethereum technology and we're going to use Polygon Mumbai testnet. Then we need to enter our address that we need to monitor. So I have a MetaMask transaction here that I'm going to use. Sorry, MetaMask address that I'm going to use. We input the address and press continue. We then need to test the trigger. So what that will do is it'll just test to make sure the trigger endpoint works. It'll generate some sample data. And you'll see there, this is the sort of event data you will receive. We will be using some of this later in our action. Now we need to configure an action. So for simplicity's sake, we're just going to generate an email, send it to ourselves so that we're aware whenever a transaction occurs involving a certain address. You can create whatever action you wish, things like Slack, Gmail, Instagram. You can create other API requests. You can make additional requests to Overledger. There's over 5,000 different Zap actions available, which makes it very flexible. So for the moment, we are just going to search for email by Zapier. It allows sending emails without needing an additional email account, which a Gmail action would. So we select outbound email, press continue. enter the required destination address. So I'm just going to put in the my personal or my work address. And our subject will be new transaction discovered. And let's put in the address that we're monitoring. So this is a placeholder for whatever address you end up monitoring. It just shows some sample data. Then we can input, we detected a new transaction involving address. And you can select the address on the network, and you can select the network with transaction hash, and I put in the transaction ID. And I guess if you really want to be useful, you could also use a direct link to a transaction. So let's get an example transaction here. So you could do this. Let's put in the email address, or sorry, put in the URL, and then populate the transaction ID at the end. So we've got a clickable link in our email. So then we can just press continue. And we want to test that step to generate a test email to make sure our formatting is correct, to make sure we're happy with the test data. Okay. Okay, I've received my email. There you go. The text we included, our sample address, our sample transaction hash, and our clickable link. That link won't work because this is just some random hash, but the link will work for our real transaction. So if we click on publish, and then we can try this again, click on send. Confirm. Transaction is sending. So now we're just waiting for that transaction to be added in a block, and for Overledger to send that event to Zapier, and Zapier to generate that email and send it to us. So we'll see that it was added a few seconds ago. Now we've received our email. So you'll see here now we've received our email showing the actual address and the transaction hash, and you'll see the hash is also added to the link. And if we now click the link, it will open the link to the transaction showing the same one that MetaMask showed us. And that's how easy it is to create an integration using Zapier and Overledger. One more thing, don't forget to give your app some useful name so you don't forget what it's for. And we are done. Thank you.